What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about Gravity Rush 3. Anytime I get the chance to do this, even though it's a smaller game, smaller topic, I know it specifically when the video goes up, it does absolutely terrible, but maybe it grows over time. But I gotta do it. I gotta support one of my honestly most underrated, one of my favorite video game franchises that exist in Gravity Rush. And this isn't exactly news, but maybe it is. The director behind the game, right? Remember, he left the entire thing with the studio that made Gravity Rush. I mean, obviously, it completely just got destroyed, and these guys kind of separated and formed their own studio. So now, remember, he's working at Bach, or I don't even know how you say it, Bokeh Game Studios, and he's making a horror title, Slitterhead, which we did see, I believe, at the Game Awards. I'm pretty sure this past year we saw it. So we know the next game they're making, it's a horror game. It's not Gravity Rush 3, but he did say in an interview that there are various things to bear in mind as a startup, but on a personal level, I obviously would like to do it in terms of making Gravity Rush 3. Even if it wasn't a new game, if there is any opportunity for me to be involved with anything related, I'd be grateful to do so. He also talked about Gravity Rush going to PC, and he said, I think it would be a good thing to open the game up for more users. It would also be wonderful if Gravity Rush 2 ran in 60 frames per second. So again, I'm a sucker for this. I love these games to death. I mean, I think Gravity Rush 2 is a much better game than Gravity Rush 1. Obviously, Gravity Rush 1, the whole cult kind of following with PS Vita. It's one of the PS Vita games that I personally own. But then Gravity Rush 2, I bought it on PlayStation 4. I absolutely adore that game. I think it's beautiful. I think it's just so different and cool. And it really, when I think to like the whole creative era of PlayStation, where like you just have these wacky things, these wacky things just kind of coming out here and there. Now, they don't always do well, and I can actually see why Sony is kind of against that idea, or maybe moving away from it right now, because you do have games like Gravity Rush that just nobody buys, just nobody cares. You have games like Puppeteer, which I think is I don't know if anybody of you guys know about Puppeteer. Maybe you do. Puppeteer is an incredible game. Nobody cared. Nobody bought that game. So even bigger games like Resistance, in a grand scheme, not that many people cared. So, I get it, but I do want a Gravity Rush 3. And I think, considering, again, like, Sony Japan or Japan Studios completely getting just gutted, and it's not even a thing that exists anymore, what is the harm if he wants to one day work? This is one of those things where maybe it gets caught up in legal stuff with Sony, but to be just real, why, who would stop this? Why would this be stopped? If he, in a couple of years down the line, would want to work on Gravity Rush, what harm is it for Sony to just give him the franchise? Now, do you make it maybe a PlayStation exclusive? Just put it on PlayStation and PC. See, this is also another game that, while I actually do support or understand the idea of Sony keeping games exclusive and not moving them on PlayStation and PC day one, this is one of those games that I just don't think matters if you put it on, like if it's on more than one thing when it comes out. Now, if you do it for one, you would have to do it for all, right? So now, like any indie game, but you're having that. Sifu, Kena Bridge of Spirits. These games were not just on PlayStation when they were on PlayStation and PC. So I really, I don't even know how much PC would help this game out. Maybe not at all, or maybe it will just a little bit, right? So, but I really think Gravity Rush is a perfect example of a game that would do well. I think day one, you don't just have it on PlayStation, you have it on PlayStation and PC. And considering it would be made technically from a studio outside of PlayStation, I think it actually increases the odds. So here's hoping. Again, I want to see Gravity Rush, kind of come back. I think you can honestly go on more than just 3 games, but maybe just to finish that, that trilogy arc, right? But it's such a special game franchise. It's so different. It's so unique. And again, I really think it kind of, I don't know if it's the spearhead for it. I don't think it is, at least in my opinion. But, it's one of those games, again, that you think of when you say, man, when Sony just was like, letting these companies go wild, and they still are to an extent. They still are. But when you think to that era of just all these games, again, a lot of games that maybe were only for a specific group of people, or just not that many people played this game or that game, but there were just so many choice. You know what I mean? There were so many choices. There were so many games out there. Gravity Rush is like at the top of the list when I think to games like that. So maybe we'll get one in the future. Hopefully we will. Again, it would be outside of Sony. Would just have to give them the rights. Again, I really like. Who else is gonna do? You're just gonna let Gravity Rush die? You're just gonna let the rights go away? Maybe you'd rather do that, but I don't think that's a smart move. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up, and I hope to see you all on tomorrow's video.